Being public is going to give us the agility and the flexibility to act like an innovator and a startup.
We were very much market share driven. We didn't look at profitability. We looked at market share primarily.
Harley-Davidson CEO Jochen Zeitz just revealed a new $5,000 motorcycle that sent shockwaves through the industry. The announcement landed like a thunderclap at the company's historic factory in Milwaukee, where loyal enthusiasts and skeptical analysts had gathered. As Zeitz took the stage, the hum of expectation rippled through the hall, and within minutes the lights glared on the machine that would redefine Harley's approach to design, pricing, and market reach. This was not merely a matter of unveiling another premium cruiser, it was a strategic pivot so bold that everyone in attendance felt the ground shift beneath their feet. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. The venue itself, a cavernous hall lined with polished concrete and vintage Harley artifacts, seemed to vibrate with a mixture of reverence and anticipation. Rows of gleaming bikes told stories of decades past, while a single spotlight illuminated the new model, its sleek frame bathed in a cool blue glow. Industry press, dealers dressed in leather, and longtime riders leaned forward, camera lenses trained on the contours of what looked like the future of accessible motorcycling. The atmosphere was electric, a rare moment when heritage met radical reinvention in one frame. At first glance, the motorcycle's design betrayed its disruptive intent. The frame was built from a novel aluminum steel alloy, light enough to keep curb weight under 350 pounds, yet robust enough to survive the rigors of daily use. Classical elements, such as the teardrop fuel tank and the unmistakable V-twin silhouette, were subtly reinterpreted with aerodynamic fairings that hinted at modern efficiency. The engine, a refined iteration of Harley's mid-capacity mill, delivered torque optimized for urban riding rather than highway cruising. Yet beneath those fairings lay an electronic suite more akin to a high-end sports bike. Ride modes, traction control, and a digital display that linked seamlessly to a rider's smartphone. Perhaps the most dramatic element was the price. At $5,000, the motorcycle undercut nearly every competitor in its segment by thousands of dollars. For comparison, entry-level machines from other premium brands typically start north of $7,500, and even budget imports rarely reach this level of branded cachet. This aggressive pricing was a statement of intent, signaling Harley's willingness to redefine perceived value. By setting a sub-$6,000 price tag, Zeitz shattered the long-held notion that Harley-Davidson ownership was a privilege reserved for those deep enough in their pockets or in love enough with tradition to pay a premium. Behind this pricing strategy lay a meticulous deconstruction of cost. Components once sourced from small-batch suppliers were reshored to in-house facilities optimized for scale. The battery pack, if included in the electric assist variant, was standardized across models to share production lines. Dealer incentives were realigned to promote volume sales rather than high-margin upsells. All of these measures coalesced into a unit cost structure that enabled a break from the usual high-margin, low-volume paradigm. Zeitz and his team had essentially engineered a diabolically clever cost equation, leveraging economies of scale and brand loyalty to make mass-market pricing feasible. The implications for Harley-Davidson's company identity were profound. For decades, the brand had rested on an aura of exclusivity, a promise of the open road that came at a premium. Now, that aura was being democratized. By offering a model accessible to new riders, students, young professionals, weekend explorers, Harley risked diluting its core mystique even as it stood to gain broad appeal. The gamble lay in reframing the company not solely as a maker of premium cruisers, but as a brand for anyone seeking freedom on two wheels. If successful, this repositioning could usher in a renaissance of the Harley lifestyle, rejuvenating aging customer demographics and injecting fresh narratives into dealership showrooms. At the same time, the ripple effects would extend into the realm of rider communities. Local chapters of riding clubs that once required extensive savings to join could see a surge of fresh faces. Entry-level courses, often taught by dealerships, would become gateways to lifelong brand loyalty. The iconic leather and chrome aesthetic would remain, but the social dynamics within parking lots, coffee shops, and weekend rallies would shift dramatically. A handshake and a shared appreciation for that new $5,000 machine could replace decades of rites of passage, forging new traditions around accessibility and shared experience. Beyond the cultural sphere, the new model demanded a recalibration of supply chains. Component volumes would increase sharply, challenging suppliers to adapt from niche artisanal runs to batch production. Parts warehouses needed to be reconfigured with logistics optimized for higher throughput. Training programs for assembly line workers were expanded to handle both traditional craftsmanship and automated processes. Even the paint shop found itself experimenting with new finishes designed to withstand more frequent production cycles. All told, the reveal signaled a transformation in how Harley-Davidson would operate at its very core, necessitating a level of operational agility that few legacy manufacturers have attempted on this scale. Competitors across the industry watched intently. Domestic challengers, long content to cede the budget segment to Asian importers, suddenly faced a homegrown disruptor. High-volume Japanese brands known for value offerings saw the playing field shift under their feet as Harley's brand equity now competed directly at lower price points. European manufacturers, with their own heritage narratives, recognized that the battle for aspirational riders had begun in earnest. The $5,000 figure would reverberate beyond dealership floors, forcing every rival to reconsider their entry-level positioning. A repricing war loomed on the horizon, one potentially beneficial to consumers but perilous for any manufacturer caught flat-footed. In raw economic terms, the pricing move could catalyze a broader realignment of margins industry-wide. When a heritage brand with deep dealer networks and a global supply chain embraces a value-first approach, it places enormous pressure on leaner players. Margins might compress in a bid to stay competitive, driving consolidation among smaller manufacturers. On the other hand, those nimble enough to innovate or carve out distinct niches, perhaps in electric powertrains or premium customization, would find new avenues to differentiate. The industry would bifurcate more sharply, with clear lines drawn between mass-market utility models and bespoke, high-margin machines. From a research and development perspective, the reveal underscored Harley-Davidson's renewed emphasis on platform flexibility. The $5,000 model shared a modular chassis architecture with premium electric and gasoline counterparts, allowing rapid variation without incurring prohibitive retooling costs. This modularity extended to powertrains, accessories, and even software updates delivered over the air. By treating the motorcycle as a connected device as much as a mechanical one, Harley positioned itself to iterate continuously, releasing performance tweaks or cosmetic updates in response to real-world data. This agile R&D framework was a direct contrast to its historical multi-year model cycles and represented a sea change in how the company conceived new products. Investor eyes gleamed at the potential for volume growth. Wall Street analysts, typically focused on profit per unit, suddenly faced the tantalizing prospect of a surge in total shipments. Even conservative forecasts of a 10% uptick in annual sales translated to hundreds of thousands of new riders entering the Harley ecosystem. Share prices, long characterized by periods of stagnation, found fresh catalysts for upward movement. The success of the new model could also bolster the stock by diversifying revenue streams. Accessories, rider programs, and service plans would all get a jolt from a larger customer base. Skeptical investors, though, would remain vigilant, awaiting real-world adoption rates and margin impacts. Dealerships, too, braced for transformation. The typical purchase path, 2-hour negotiations over chrome add-ons, performance kits, and leather upgrades, would need streamlining to handle higher foot traffic. Showrooms might be rearranged to spotlight the new entry-level line, with branded pop-up events inviting passers-by to sit on the new model and sign up for test rides. Financing options would be adjusted, offering microloans or subscription-style plans to appeal to younger or urban riders. Service departments anticipated increased scheduled maintenance visits, prompting the hiring of junior technicians and the stocking of standardized parts kits. Essentially, every touchpoint in the dealer network required re-engineering to accommodate a volume-driven approach. The broader cultural implications extended beyond the open road and dealership walls. A $5,000 Harley could become a symbol of accessible rebellion, a statement about mobility and identity. Urban riders could embrace the brand as an alternative to public transit or rideshare services, carving out a niche in crowded cityscapes. Eco-conscious buyers might gravitate toward the electric assist variant as a stylish yet practical green choice. Even in rural areas, the model could serve as a no-nonsense workhorse for everyday tasks, commuting to a job site, running errands, or simply enjoying a weekend ride without the intimidation of a heavy, high-powered machine. The ripple effects of this bold pricing move will resonate through Harley-Davidson's global expansion efforts, demanding an entirely new playbook for international markets. Traditionally, Harley has relied on a halo effect. Aspirational pricing in mature markets like North America and Europe reinforced the brand's premium image in emerging regions. Now, with a mass-market model entering the lineup, executives must deftly balance availability without eroding prestige. In China, where Harley has struggled to gain traction against established local manufacturers, a sub-$6,000 offering could unlock vast potential, provided it is marketed with sensitivity to local tastes. Tailored color palettes, region-specific accessories, and partnerships with city-based rider clubs could ensure the model becomes a symbol of cosmopolitan rebellion rather than an off-the-shelf commodity. Similarly, in India and Southeast Asia, where urban congestion favors smaller displacement bikes, minimalist styling and pricing proximity to commuter motorcycles could make the new Harley an icon of aspiration rather than a heavy, impractical luxury. Meanwhile, digital channels will play an outsized role in cultivating the next generation of riders. The launch event itself hinted at this shift. Alongside the physical reveal, a synchronized live stream drew thousands of virtual attendees, many of whom left comments about the bike's affordability and modern features. To harness this momentum, Harley's marketing teams will likely invest heavily in immersive content. 360-degree virtual showrooms, augmented reality try-before-you-buy apps, and social media collaborations with micro-influencers who embody urban mobility. By creating digital communities where owners can customize their bikes virtually, share ride logs, and earn badges for completing manufacturer-backed challenges, Harley can foster the same sense of belonging that once grew organically in roadside diners and gas station pit stops. Such digital engagement, however, necessitates robust cybersecurity and data privacy measures. The connectivity features built into the new model, over-the-air software updates, ride analytics, and integrated navigation generate troves of user data. While insights into riding patterns and maintenance needs can guide product improvements and personalized marketing, they also expose the company to heightened regulatory scrutiny in jurisdictions with stringent data protection laws. Harley's legal and compliance teams will need to collaborate closely with engineers to design privacy-by-default architectures, ensuring that customers retain control over their information without sacrificing convenience. The reputational risks of data breaches are too severe. A single high-profile incident could erode the very trust that makes the brand's democratization strategy viable. On the product development front, Zeitz's team has opened the door to a continuous innovation model. The new $5,000 platform will likely serve as the template for a family of machines, each targeting different rider archetypes. A scrambler-style variant with knobbly tires and a higher exhaust could appeal to young adventurers, while a cafe racer-inspired sibling with clip-on handlebars and a sport-tuned suspension might draw urban commuters seeking agility. Because the underlying chassis and powertrain are modular, these derivatives could roll off assembly lines within months of the initial launch, keeping the model lineup fresh and attuned to nascent trends. By adopting a fast follower approach within its own product ecosystem, Harley can minimize development lead times and respond swiftly to customer feedback, effectively turning its community into an extended R&D lab. The democratization of the Harley experience will also transform the aftermarket and accessory market. Historically, premium add-ons, performance exhausts, leather saddlebags, custom paint jobs drove a significant portion of the company's accessory revenue. With a broad base of new owners, demand for personalization will skyrocket. But the cost sensitivity of these riders could pressure average accessory margins downward. To navigate this challenge, Harley will need to curate tiered accessory lines, value-priced essentials that maintain margins through scale, mid-tier bundles that offer thematic styling packages, and bespoke high-end items for enthusiasts who still crave exclusivity. Digital marketplaces where third-party fabricators can offer licensed customization options, vetted and certified by Harley, may emerge as a lucrative channel, enabling peer-to-peer creativity while preserving quality standards. At the same time, financing and insurance partners will recalibrate their offerings to accommodate a younger, less affluent customer base. Chip-in from captive finance units could introduce subscription-based ownership models. Riders pay a monthly fee that covers the motorcycle, insurance, and routine maintenance, lowering the barrier to entry even further. Such programs, already gaining traction in the automotive sector, could redefine loyalty. Rather than owning a bike outright, subscribers remain within the Harley ecosystem as long as they appreciate the brand's swagger and promise of freedom. For insurers, the lower displacement and electronic safety aids built into the new model may justify reduced premiums, translating into more competitive insurance quotes that reinforce the value proposition to prospective buyers. Regulators and transportation planners will watch with equal interest. A surge in lightweight, mid-capacity motorcycles could motivate cities to revisit two-wheeler parking policies, particularly in downtown cores where space is at a premium. Electric assist variants, designed to comply with evolving emission standards, might encourage municipalities to designate Harley riders as part of green mobility initiatives, granting access to low-emission zones or subsidized parking. Public-private partnerships could emerge, with Harley sponsoring urban safety workshops or collaborating on infrastructure projects like dedicated motorcycle lanes. Through these initiatives, the brand can position itself not just as an equipment manufacturer, but as a stakeholder in urban planning and sustainable transportation. Yet this sweeping strategy is not without peril. If dealers fail to manage inventory effectively, they could be left with an influx of models that outpace local demand, straining showroom floors and test ride programs. Training frontline staff to sell at volume while maintaining the brand's aspirational tone will require a radical shift in dealership culture. Painstakingly curated brand experiences, once reserved for premium customers, must be adapted for higher throughput without feeling diluted. Storytelling techniques that emphasize shared experiences over product technicalities will become paramount. Sales staff must pivot from closing high-ticket deals to welcoming a broader spectrum of riders into the Harley fold. Strategic partnerships beyond traditional motorcycle suppliers could further reinforce the new model's value proposition. Collaborations with helmet and gear manufacturers, smartphone app developers, and even coffee chains, venues where riders often congregate, can create lifestyle touchpoints that transcend the showroom. Limited edition co-branded helmets, for example, could bundle safety with street cred, while geo-fenced loyalty programs at partner cafes reward riders for stops along popular routes. By weaving the Harley brand into diverse consumer experiences, Zeitz's team can cultivate an ecosystem in which riding the new $5,000 model becomes an entry ticket to a broader cultural movement. Internally, Harley must maintain morale and alignment as the company undergoes this metamorphosis. Engineers who once took pride in bespoke craftsmanship must now optimize processes for repeatability and cost efficiency. Marketing teams must reconcile the brand's storied heritage with a progressive, inclusive ethos. Human resources will face the challenge of recruiting talent versed in digital services, data analytics, and agile methodologies, skills that have not traditionally been core to a heavy iron motorcycle maker. Executive leadership will need to foster a unifying vision, one that honors the roar of a big V-twin while celebrating the nimble purr of a new breed of two-wheeled machines. Investor communications will also evolve. Quarterly earnings calls, once a litany of margin discussions and dealer metrics, will incorporate new KPIs, digital engagement rates, subscription uptake figures, accessory bundle attachment rates, and modular platform utilization percentages. The narrative will shift from premium positioning to market penetration, from per-unit profitability to lifetime customer value. Transparency around data security, software update roadmaps, and dealer training metrics will become critical in establishing credibility with financial markets as Harley straddles the line between heritage automaker and mobility tech company. On the innovation horizon lies the potential for open-source collaborations. By sharing non-proprietary aspects of the modular platform with academic institutions or startups, Harley could incubate radical use cases. Envision riders retrofitting their bikes for off-grid adventures, developing low-cost utility variants for emerging markets, or experimenting with alternative power sources. These initiatives could accelerate the diffusion of new ideas while reinforcing the brand's image as a pioneer rather than a relic. Formal accelerator programs or hackathons, co-sponsored by technology partners, could yield prototypes that feed back into the core R&D pipeline, fostering a virtuous cycle of experimentation and commercialization. Sustainability credentials, too, will take on renewed importance. While the $5,000 price tag is a headline grabber, the life cycle environmental footprint of these machines, from manufacturing to aftermarket disposal, will draw scrutiny from both regulators and conscious consumers. Investments in recycled materials, energy-efficient assembly plants, and take-back schemes for end-of-life parts could bolster the model's green bona fides. Harley's sustainability reports will likely include metrics specific to the new platform, such as carbon intensity per unit, percentage of recyclable components, and energy use per square meter of production floor. Data points that will feed into ESG ratings and influence institutional investors. Academia and think tanks may weigh in on the social impact of making motorcycling more accessible. Studies could explore how increased two-wheeler ownership affects road safety statistics, urban traffic patterns, and even public health through active leisure. Harley might commission white papers or sponsor conferences that position the company as a thought leader in transportation mobility rather than merely an engine manufacturer. By framing the $5,000 model as part of a larger dialogue on sustainable, affordable mobility, Zeitz can elevate public perception and secure a license to operate in an increasingly regulated landscape. Culturally, the new Harley could inspire a fresh wave of artistic expression. Photographers and filmmakers may find new narratives in grassroots riding communities that were previously priced out of the Harley universe. The aesthetic of the accessible Harley, chrome meets affordability, could become a theme in fashion collaborations, as streetwear brands partner with the company on limited apparel lines. Musicians might reference the bike in lyrics as a symbol of attainable freedom, while visual artists reimagine Harley's iconic bar and shield logo with minimalist, youthful flourishes. In this way, the motorcycle becomes more than metal and rubber. It becomes a canvas for stories that resonate with a generation defined by experience economy values. However, Zeitz's strategy hinges on flawless execution. If early adopters encounter quality issues, or if the digital experience fails to meet expectations, the brand could suffer disproportionate backlash. Social media amplifies every misstep, and a single viral complaint about hardware failure or software glitches could undermine the entire democratization effort. To safeguard against this, Harley will need to institute rapid response units that address customer issues in real time, leveraging dealer networks, online support forums, and telemetry data to proactively identify and resolve problems before they escalate. Long-term success may also depend on maintaining a delicate equilibrium between volume and aspirational cachet. As the $5,000 model proliferates, Zeitz will face the challenge of ensuring that Harley's premium lineup, those high-end, fully custom cruisers and performance-tuned models, retains its allure. This likely means preserving limited production runs, exclusive colorways, and bespoke commissioning services that only the most dedicated collectors can access. By segmenting the brand into distinct tiers, accessible, mainstream, and ultra-premium, Harley can pursue mass-market growth without cannibalizing the mystique that underpins its legacy. Harley-Davidson's decision to introduce a $5,000 motorcycle also invites fresh scrutiny of the secondary market and the dynamics of ownership transfer. Traditionally, used Harleys have held value remarkably well, thanks to the brand's strong cachet and a network of enthusiasts who prize well-maintained machines. However, with an influx of thousands of affordable new bikes, the resale ecosystem could experience downward pressure. Dealerships and independent brokers may need to adjust their appraisal models, differentiating between limited edition variants and the high-volume entry model. Online auction platforms could see an uptick in listings, prompting the development of new grading standards that account for electronic components and connectivity features. In response, Harley might launch official, certified pre-owned programs tailored to the new platform, offering extended warranties and software update packages to reassure buyers and stabilize resale values. Educational initiatives present another fertile frontier. Rider safety courses, long a pillar of Harley's community outreach, could be revamped to cater to a broader demographic. Customized training curricula might emphasize not only handling mid-capacity bikes in urban settings, but also the nuances of managing advanced rider assist technologies. Virtual reality simulators could allow novices to experience highway speeds or emergency braking scenarios in a controlled environment, reducing anxiety and improving on-road performance. By investing in digital training academies accessible via smartphones or in-dealership VR booths, Harley can position itself at the forefront of rider education, transforming safety certification into a natural entry step for new owners. Philanthropic partnerships may blossom alongside these educational programs. Nonprofit organizations focused on road safety, veteran support, or community development could receive sponsorships tied to the sales of the new model. For every bike sold, a portion of proceeds could fund apprenticeship programs that teach mechanical skills to underemployed youth, fostering both technical literacy and brand goodwill. Co-branded community events, such as charity rides or mobile service pop-ups in underserved areas, would amplify the social impact of Harley's democratization drive, generating positive press and bolstering local relationships. At the same time, the company's digital infrastructure will need to evolve to manage an expanded user base. Customer relationship management systems must scale to handle higher volumes of service bookings, accessory orders, and software update logs. Predictive maintenance algorithms, informed by anonymized telemetry from thousands of machines, could forecast part failures before riders experience them, enabling preemptive recall campaigns or targeted service bulletins. This proactive stance not only enhances reliability, but also underscores the value proposition of riding a connected Harley, where the machine itself signals when it needs attention. Cross-industry collaboration is set to accelerate as well. Electric utility firms may partner with Harley to install branded charging stations strategically located along popular riding routes, complete with branded lounge areas and digital kiosks detailing local weather and road conditions. Energy companies could offer discounted electricity rates to Harley owners who charge during off-peak hours, strengthening the case for the electric assist variant in regions prioritizing grid stability. Similarly, technology firms specializing in augmented reality navigation could integrate seamlessly into Harley's cockpit display, offering turn-by-turn guidance overlaid onto the real road in real time, further blurring the line between motorcycle and digital device. The ripple effect might even extend into the insurance industry's underwriting models. With a flood of new younger riders entering the market and equipped with electronic safety features, insurers will need to recalibrate risk assessments. Actuarial tables could incorporate data from Harley's integrated ride analytics to offer usage-based premiums, lower rates for riders who consistently engage safety modes or complete manufacturer-recommended training modules. In this scenario, the motorcycle's data-driven insights become a currency of trust between rider and insurer, rewarding cautious behavior and reinforcing the ecosystem's alignment around safety. Environmental responsibilities will also demand innovative approaches. To offset the carbon footprint of increased production volumes, Harley could invest in reforestation projects or join carbon credit marketplaces, tying each sale of the new model to verified environmental initiatives. Bike share programs in major cities might pilot the mid-capacity Harley as a premium short-term rental option, with a portion of rental fees earmarked for urban greening efforts. These alliances would bolster Harley's sustainability credentials and help temper criticisms about expanding manufacturing output. On the cultural front, the ripples could manifest in media and entertainment. Television and streaming series focusing on grassroots biker culture might feature the new model as a symbol of youthful rebellion, contrasting it against the backdrop of traditional long-haul touring. Documentaries examining the social impact of accessible mobility could use Harley's strategy as a case study, exploring how design and pricing influence urban planning and neighborhood connectivity. Even video game developers might license the platform's digital twin, allowing players to customize and ride a virtual version in open-world titles, further embedding Harley into the zeitgeist of experiential entertainment. Risk management will become a strategic priority as well. With global supply chains still vulnerable to geopolitical tensions, Harley must diversify its sourcing strategy for critical components such as microcontrollers, sensors, and battery cells. Dual sourcing arrangements across different regions can mitigate disruptions, while inventory buffers calibrated through advanced analytics ensure smooth production flows. Contingency protocols for rapid supplier qualification, Identifying and onboarding alternate vendors within weeks rather than months will be critical to maintaining the production ramp-up for the new model. Finally, the executive leadership will face the ongoing challenge of maintaining momentum while preserving the brand's soul. As quarterly sales numbers come in and digital engagement metrics climb, Zeitz and his team will need to guard against complacency. Regular innovation sprints, modeled on tech industry best practices, could keep ideas fresh and prevent the organization from reverting to legacy mindsets. By celebrating successes, from high subscription renewal rates to community-driven customization contests, and swiftly iterating on shortcomings, the company can remain agile even as it scales. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Harley's new $5,000 bike? Game changer or risky move? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.